Good morning, everyone. Grant, would you lead us in prayer, and if you would include in that prayer Dale Foster's son-in-law, who's critically injured this morning on his way to St. Louis.
Heavenly Father, I want to take this moment to pause and thank you for all that we're blessed with on a daily basis. As we move forward today, we think of the Foster family and what's happened in this accident, that you're going to put healing hands on a person that certainly at this point needs it. So we pray that you're going to watch over and care for their safe travels as they go to care for them and all, and how we remember all families that are involved with issues each and every day. We pray for the county, for the county board, for the employees that diligently work day to day to do what's right for our citizens. We pray that you'll watch over and keep us safe as we go about making our decisions on a daily basis. As always, we pray for your guiding hand in all that we do, for the blessings that you give us, for the sins that we commit that you will forgive us. We pray that you'll watch over and care for us and keep us safe as we leave here today. Christ.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lance, would you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner Harville. Commissioner Pitts. Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Toller. Commissioner Gould.
Having a forum, I'll call the meeting to order. First item, approval of minutes. We have executive session minutes from April 22nd and June 10th. Does everybody have a chance to look at those? Any additions or deletions?
I'll make a motion for the minutes.
Remain closed. So,
I'll second.
Commissioner Harville.
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts.
Yeah.
Commissioner Miller.
yes.
Commissioner Toller.
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
We also have minutes from regular meeting of June 24th. Everybody look those over. Deletions or additions?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll say.
Commissioner Harville.
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Toller.
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Yes. Public comments. Jeff, you're the only one. You want to talk? Committee reports.
Animal control was full. Got fans on the animals, trying to deal with this heat the best we
They got fans up there,
can. Basically, they have fans, got good fans.
I don't have no committee reports at this time. They're in the latter part of the month, Max. They'll be probably next week.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? Building permits?
You have two. The first one is parcel number 0701051255A4. It's at 1450 Union Springs Road in Cobden for Paul and Alberdine Tate. It's a new home, no subdivision, no floodplain, recommended for approval. And your second one is parcel number 0226010088. It's at 9465 State Route 146 East in Dongola. It's for Joshua and Angela Clay, a new home, no subdivision, no floodplain, recommended for approval.
Any questions? Motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Mr. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Kohler,
Yes.
Mr. Gould.
Next item, old business approval of collective bargaining agreement between Union County Sheriff's Office and FOP. Again, I have to table it because it is being written as we speak.
We've got it now. They finally
That's right.
sent it to me and I
Yeah.
just have to review it, so.
So, hopefully we'll get that done next meeting. It's out of our hands, or was out of our hands till now, so we'll table that again. New business, approved payment of bills. Everybody had a chance to look at the bill list? Questions?
I make a motion to pay the bills.
A second.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Mr. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Kohler,
Yes.
Mr. Gould.
Hey, Max, in addition to those bills, you have 7 legal bills here. They total $10,529. Again, because they're over budget, you guys would have to vote to approve to pay these before I can pay them. So,
What dates that through?
do you mean like what like this is everything I've received through yesterday, but yes.
Refreshing my memory, how much was it last time?
You know what? I don't even remember how much it was. In total, right now, the bills are over budget $48,647. So almost $50,000, and this is another 10.5. So, but I will say that when you look at these bills, they're for cases that the public defenders have been appointed to prior to us hiring our second public defender. It's just they got to work through all those cases before the bills will start coming down.
All right. Well, I mean, again, unfortunately, we don't have a choice to pay them, so I make a motion that we pay the excess bills from the public defender's office.
Mr. Harville,
Yes.
Mr. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Kohler,
Yes.
Mr. Gould.
All right, item B, acceptance of 2021 bond disclosure.
You're up.
All yours.
You still awake?
I'm still awake. 3 cups of coffee later.
Welcome, glad to see you back.
Thank you very much for having me. It's always great to get down here. Down here at this time last year and took a couple of years off there because of COVID, but this has been our annual routine, so to speak, for the last 5, 6, 7 years. Large in part due to the promises that the county made to its investors, those investors who helped you guys build this courthouse back in 2010. So each one of you should have a handout in front of you. I've been given strict rules from Angie that she is departing shortly. Keep this brief.
Well, I want you to read every page.
Understood.
Let's drag this out a little bit.
Verbatim.
Yeah.
Understood.
Twice.
Twice. Okay. With that being said, a lot of this is old habit, but there is a lot of good information in here regarding the county. Okay. And again, it's a requirement to refresh your memories within 210 days of your fiscal year end, which is November 30 of every year. This report is to be disseminated on the MSRB's MO website per the SEC. So there's 3 big acronyms there. The MSRB is Municipal Securities Rulemaking Board. The SEC is Securities and Exchange Commission. And EMMA stands for Electronic Municipal Market Access. So through our assistance, we work directly with Angie, your county administrator, in getting this information in an accurate format so that it's disseminated not only correctly, but on time, again, within that 210-day window of your fiscal year end. A couple of high points I would like to go through on this report. On page 8, if you pull to that real quick, shows the outstanding debt of the county. you've got the 2014 bonds outstanding, but then the 2019 bonds, again, for some of you who may not have been here at that time, the 2019 bonds are a replica of the 2010 bonds that were used to finance this building. At that time, but the county chose to refinance, ended up cutting the interest expense over $2 million at that time by lowering the interest rate, and those bonds are scheduled to be repaid in 2042. Based on the current amount sitting at Zion's Bank, which is the trustee for the sales taxes that are pledged to the repayment of this issue, 2042 may be getting cut short potentially up to 8-9 years, meaning that there's a potential of, as these tax receipts come in greater than what we had projected 12 years ago, you're able to pay these bonds off roughly 9 years sooner, which adds to the savings of $2 million back in 2019, potentially up to maybe another $1.5 million or so. That's without the county deciding to refinance at any point between now and then as well, right? So there's good potential there. As long as those projected sales tax receipts keep coming in, there is a potential of reducing that amortization schedule 8, 9, even 10 years in some spots. If you pull to page 12, I want to go through the EAV of the county. This is essentially your net worth. So if you were to add up the values of all of your farm, residential, commercial, industrial, railroad, this is essentially what those figures accumulate to. Year over year, you're seeing about a 2.5 to 3% increase, which is very, very good. Hopefully that trend continues. Certainly people want the value of their property to increase. They don't necessarily like to continue paying taxes on that increase, but that's the way this world works. Following page, you'll notice the county's tax rate trend at the top of page 13. You guys have kind of held the line here in the last couple of years, which is of note. I think your taxpayers of doing your due diligence and making sure that you're being fair to them while their value of their properties are increasing. Your tax rate is more or less staying the same. So they're really not seeing an increase in that regard. At the bottom of page 13, this is just a representative tax rate of someone living in the city of Anna. The total tax rate, including the counties, the school districts, the library, city of Anna, Shawnee Community College, roughly a taxpayer is paying about $8 in total on their assessed value. Okay, and the county makes up $1.40 of that. If you turn to page 14, I always like talking about this chart. Again, I'm trying, Angie, to speed this up.
You're fine.
Belly part of page 14, largest county taxpayers. What we like to see in this chart, not only we, but investors of anyone in municipal bonds, is a figure at 10% or below, meaning that you don't have any one taxpayer that's equivalent to 10% of your net worth or EAV or greater than that, okay? And of your top 10, you're only at 4%, which is very, very good. And one of the reasons why, if you remember back in 2019, the county was able to establish its first ever credit rating with Standard & Poor's, which was a very exhaustive process that Angie, myself, Dave Gould, Max, there was a lot of time spent on that call and the preparation for that. And that's one of the reasons which led to that A+ credit rating from Standard & Poor's, which you guys have been able to maintain since that time. Page 15 and 16 gives each one of you an historical look at not only the general fund balance sheet, but also the P&L, the income statement, where the revenues are coming in, where the expenses are going out, how much cash is on the books relative to where it was 5 years ago. You've essentially been able to double that cash an equivalent amount there on page 15, if you'll notice. And then if you flip over to page 16, I won't go through each one of these row by row, but your revenues are increasing year over year. Your expenditures are, again, more or less holding the line over the last 3 years, which is why you've been able to accumulate that cash balance to the level you have, which, again, is one of the reasons why you're able to hold that total tax rate where it is for your taxpayers. Those were some of the high points I wanted to cover. Again, this report has already been disseminated onto that website, the Emma website. It was due within 210 days. You'll notice in the very last page we're adding it signed. June 24th is when we put it on there, so you guys are in compliance for FY21. And the report really doesn't need to be worked on for another roughly a year from now, as 2023 will be the next time we assist you guys in getting this pulled together. But does anyone have any questions about any of that?
I don't, but I will tell you, as I have in the past, I'm very proud of this, and I look forward to seeing this every year, because say what you want to, Union County is a lot better off than what a lot of people think it is. And it's not anything short of a lot of hard work by a lot of people.
Mhm.
And, again, I appreciate your work. It's a lot of good information in here that the average taxpayer has no clue about.
Right.
And, it's a far cry. I've been on here longer, probably been around longer than anybody, and it certainly wasn't like this when we started out. And I'm not praising me by any chance, I'm saying everybody has contributed to this. And the refinancing that we did a couple of years ago, as you know, I wasn't really in favor of it to start with. And, but it definitely was a plus for Union County and the taxpayers, so.
Bond rating, as Matt just said, I mean, our county is in good shape. How many counties now even have a rating at all?
The 102 that are in this state, I would say less than half have a credit rating. For the pure fact of maybe they don't have any debt outstanding, it's not required, but if they did, even that A+ would be a tall order, probably something less than that, I'm guessing.
Can't imagine two of them don't have debt, but.
Right.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Very good report, appreciate it.
No, you're welcome, happy to do it. You guys have a good one here. The only elected official, I think, not in the room, non-elected official in the room. Don't lose her. She plays a major role in this report. And,
Trust me, nobody knows that better. I mean, that's.
even though you're going on, what, a month-long vacation?
No,
Oh.
we.
Got it. But if there's no other questions,
We got a real good, great group of people that are elected and elected here right now. It's amazing.
keep up the good work.
I don't know if it's needed or not. I make a motion, we accept the 2021 bond closure report as written.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Toller,
Yes.
Mr. Gould.
Thank you. You guys are great to work with.
Enjoy your next stop.
Thank you, boys. I will.
No, that's a long drive for
Well, that's all right.
short
That's okay.
view, but that's why you get the big bucks.
I didn't have to get the 4 kids off to the sitter this morning.
Yeah. Thanks again.
You got it. Be good, guys.
Have a safe trip.
Thank you.
All right, next item, acceptance of county energy bids. If you don't think inflation is here, guys, you need to read this. We do bid this out, I think the last one we did was a 3-year, right?
Yes, we did a 3-year. Do you want me to go
Yeah,
through it?
go ahead.
We put it out for bid. We received 2 bids. One from, I'm assuming this is Homefield Energy bidding theirself, and then the second one from AGE, which is our current broker that we use. And as you know, the rates changed every day, so the one that you have that's all stapled together was yesterday's rates, and the paper that I just gave you, the single page, is today's rates. Homefield is the lowest for the supplier, but like I said, it's the exact same rate whether you go with Homefield as the broker also, I guess you'd say, or AGE. So my suggestion would be to stay with AGE. They've been a good broker to us. They're very responsive on our emails. if we have billing issues, they jump in and help us with them. So the question is how many years you want to do it. So if you look at that front sheet, you have the rates for a 12-month, a 24-month, a 36-month, and a 48-month. So if you go at least 2 years, the 2-year price over the 1-year price, you'll save $8,300. If you go 3 years, you'll save an additional $3,800. If you go 4 years, you'll save an additional $1,444. So that's kind of how they are. It's a guess whether you think rate's going to go up or down, and when you think it's going to go. My suggestion would be probably at least a 3-year, because I think that's where you got a lot of savings. Just up to you what exactly you want to do.
Well, for one, looking at this and having done it in the past, I don't mean to bring politics into this, but nevertheless, it's right in the middle of it. Looking at the numbers and my reasoning for my choice is, the election's coming up in 2 years, which I think we all can probably agree that's going to change a whole lot of things, I hope. And it's probably going to take at least a year after that if we're going to see any differences. So, I mean, I don't personally want to go out 4 years, but I think we need to go 3 years for the reasons I just gave. I would be scared to death to go less than 3 years at this point.
Is there anything?
I can interject. Yeah, I can give you a little background, maybe some guidance. Ameren, what we call the Ameren default rate, which is anybody who's paying Ameren rates that aren't currently under contract, as you are, or as some of the cities that we do. We have 130 cities that we do what's called municipal aggregation for, which gives the citizens of those communities an opportunity to save money off of the Ameren rates. Then we do individual businesses for this particular type of aggregation as well, such as yourselves. We have the County of Jackson, County of Randolph, but we also do this for down here, County of Williamson. So most of the counties in this southern region we have as well under contract. Now, Ameren just recently doubled their rates as of June 1st from 6.1 cents to 12.1 cents. People are going to get those bills next week and they're going to be screaming.
I got mine already.
You got yours already, so you've seen it. This is the world we live in right now, as you were mentioning. We've already got guidance. Ameren will be increasing their rate to 13.5 cents in October. Ameren does a twice a year rate change. Every 6 months, they just did it June 1. They'll be doing it again October 1. So we already know those rates are going to be 13.5 cents. The guidance from everything that we see, of course, we follow this every day. It's our business. Probably the next 18 to 24 months, we're going to be looking in the 17, 18 cent range. So this time next year, it's going to be even higher. Those are the default rates for people that aren't under contract. So yeah, it doesn't look good. I agree with you that probably in the future we're going to see some change, but a lot of this pricing volatility we see is national policy. It's just the way it is. There are some other factors as well. We have a lot of reliance now, or we're trying to rely more on green energy or renewable energy, as it's mostly referred to. The grid operators, there's 5 grids in the United States. We're under one called MISO, which is about 7 to 8 states, I think about 7 part of another state, so 8 states. The operator grid, for our area, they collectively said that the renewable portion of the energy the energy needs is not going to be reliable enough. Therefore, they priced some of that volatility into these prices that we're seeing now. They bid on what's called the capacity portion of this product every year, and they don't see a good reliability for the portion of the energy production from renewables. Not that they don't have some value, but they're just not reliable long term. So that's driving the price up as well. Until that comes down, meaning probably more fossil fuel plants coming back online, which are about a fourth of what they were just 10 years ago. If those do come back online, which is some of the talk right now, then we're probably in for a rough ride for a while. So that gives you some background of why the prices are what they are right now. And I wish I had better news. I worked in a market for the last 7 years that had prices stable or even reducing. I don't know if I provided any charts for Angie, but it's pretty obvious, what happened in January a couple of years ago. Our pricing was pretty stable for the previous 3 years, and January of a couple of years ago it spiked, and it looks like there's no end in sight. So we don't know. Our recommendations, of course, is looking out long-term, 3 or 4 years. Some folks feel a little better about going 4 years. It's totally up to the people that sign the contract, what they feel policy in the future might be. But that's the guidance from our side.
Question number one, what is this going to do to our bill? Or Angie, you can answer it from month to month from what it was to now.
It's gonna double it.
We're talking
So you're-
$70,000 more a year.
Now,
So
what we
I
do-
think the bill is about 5,500 to 6,000 a month. And so you're probably looking at it going about 12.
I spoke with a high-ranking official with Ameren, and they said that they're now basically a distribution network. They're buying electricity off the grid like anybody else.
They are.
And they're only making $1.50 because of Cub. So their cost is coming off the grid like if you're buying from Ameren, but Ameren's buying it off the grid.
Yeah. We don't buy from Ameren, we buy off the grid as well.
Grid, yeah.
But we deal directly with the suppliers, just as they do.
But he was indicating that it's hidden in your bill that there's a Pritzker charge that's just built into the residential of $20 a month. That's a state tax that was added to all homeowners' bills. And that's part of that increase that we're all seeing, in addition to the higher utility rates.
Would
But
just
Ameren-
like this, our current rate is 0.04. I won't keep going, it goes, but 0.04. And even the 36, if you do 3 years, is 0.09. So it's more than double it.
It's more than double.
Yeah.
It's more
And
than
the
double.
transmission part from Ameren, the Ameren side
Yeah.
is only going up like $2.
Well, I think this is something we're gonna have to keep in mind as we move along here on other stuff, because, I mean, you're talking about next year's budget, and we already know that we're going to be behind the 8 ball on this alone. So, I mean, you guys, I gave my thoughts on it. I'm just one, so
I'm for the 3.
speak up. I mean, if you think we need to go forward,
I think 4.
I mean, I don't, I mean, I'm betting a little bit there that after 3, we'll be better off. I'm not into this thing.
I think we will be.
I mean,
Europe, I
that's-
understand, is going back and opening up some of their old coal fired, and from what I'm hearing is that's gonna happen in the United States, but it takes a year to get them back up and running, so
That's correct.
it's gonna take at least 2 years Probably you can get all the permits and approvals, get a year to get set up, which is that 3-year window. To produce it.
You said that there's
You're right.
5 grids, is that the continental United States? So there's
Yes.
5 grids in the United States?
Correct.
Do they each work independently from each other, or are they interconnected?
They're interconnected. Yeah, they're interconnected, but they all have boards, that oversee, the distribution for each one. I want to be clear too, that, and I think you guys all understand this, that our portion of the billing is just the energy only. So when you were alluding to all the other additional taxes and fees that are charged from the state or through Ameren, those are out of our control, or in large cases, they're at the whim of state policy, so.
The peanuts for the courthouse, but for a homeowner, it's significant, will be significant.
Right, yeah, and they do look at commercial versus residential differently on those types of taxing additions, but, yeah, we just do the energy portion only on the bill, which is just the supply, what referred to as supply.
So you buy your energy, your company does from the producers yourself, just like Ameren and the rest of them?
That's correct.
So are you noticing as more solar capability comes online, is that cost going to lower in the future, you think? As
Well,
more solar comes on?
We do solar as well, which is something that I think I may have dropped some information by here previously. We're actually a large advocate for solar at this time, and it's because of the state incentives and national incentives as well. Of course, the county can't take advantage of all the tax breaks that they offer the commercial industry. But there's a lot of incentives out there for solar right now, which could reduce and has reduced, the per kilowatt hour cost down to about 1 to 2 cents. So a lot of folks are looking at solar now, especially since what's happened,
So when your company is shopping, you include those in the list
Yeah.
of availability for the energy needs?
Well, it's inclusive because part of, as I mentioned earlier, part of the overall availability off the grid is, a portion of that is renewable energy. Right. And as I said, those grid operators that are seeing more and more of that infiltrate, because something has to replace, the fossil fuel production, that they're saying that portion of it is not reliable enough. They look at the highest use period at any given year. And of course, right now we're about in it at 100 degrees and everybody's got their AC on. So they look at power availability at those peak times. And if they're relying somewhat more and more and more on renewable energy, they say, we may not be able to provide that to you, and rolling brownouts are a possibility.
Okay. Our bank was, our pricing in our bank was based on peak demand, and our meter would tell us what the peak demand was. And that's what our that rate was set at, because I can see that we had to draw.
Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. Any other questions, I'm available, so, through energy, if something comes up and you might want to get some clarification on something.
Well, I'm going to suggest that we do a 3-year contract, continue with AG as we've done.
I'll second that.
That's good with me. I mean, that's. It's a crapshoot either way we go. It really is.
So that's your motion.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Harville?
Begrudgingly, yes.
Commissioner Pitts, Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Toller,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I concur, Harold.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just,
I just don't like things out of our control.
That's why it's better than 3 years, I think.
Yeah, I really do. Just keep your fingers crossed, you know. At this point, all we can do.
All right, last item, approval of contract for Johnson Dairy Road Bridge.
It is all those contracts in front of you.
Yeah. Looks like a lot of signatures to me.
You got that?
This is, if you want to call it housekeeping for our highway department to approve this. This project is 80% funded by the state, 20% by us. Anybody have any questions?
Do you know when it's scheduled to be completed?
I have no idea. I don't
Yeah,
know. if
I've got
it's- I don't
customers
know
out
if
there
it's
that
in
want,
here.
they're gonna be asking me. They're gonna be asking.
We gotta approve this before it ever starts, so,
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you that. That'd be a question for Mr. Denny.
we get into it, I'll ask again.
Yeah. So, I'm not gonna look through all this,
No,
it may
no.
be in there, but. Well, I make a motion, we approve the contract for Johnson Dairy Road Bridge.
Second.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Toller,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
yes.
I think we got about 12 items for executive session. I'm kidding. I don't know of anything unless anybody else has something.
I don't have that.
Other business? Anybody got anything?
Well, I have something real quick.
Okay.
Two things, and you know, this is our meeting, this is my chance. I noticed that the first of the week, because of the extreme heat, Marion activated, Illinois, they activated all their cooling centers. I guess they're organized to the effect, you know, when it gets a certain temperature, it gets uncomfortable, especially with people with no air conditioning, they activate their cooling centers for the general public to access to come through the day to get out of the heat so they don't croak or die. And I was wanting to know, does Union County have any such a thing?
Not that I'm aware
I
of.
think the local municipalities do some, I think Anna does.
I know they had the air conditioning units over at the Anna Vista, you know, Vista go out this week. And it just seemed to me, I mean, kind of following it, it seemed like to me everything was like helter-skelter, you know? And I didn't know if there would be such a thing that we could get our emergency management into action. And actually, because it would be nice because there's, like you said, electricity is going up. And there are a lot of people, you know, they're having to choose between food, keeping cool, or medicine. And for some financial reason, they're not staying cool enough, you know, and I think a lot of lives are at stake. And I think if we had such a system where we could have a cooling emergency, you know, maybe they could work with a church in Alto Pass, maybe a church or a school in Dongola, and in Jonesboro, a place that we could tell people to go to get out of the heat and possibly save their lives. I didn't know that'd be something that we'd think about doing in the future or not, but I think as the price of electricity keeps going up and up and up, I think that may be something that we have to look into for the citizens of the county. I don't know, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I think you're talking about a lot of things coming together. I mean, we could look at it, somebody could look at it, you could look at it. But you're talking about a lot of entities having to agree on doing something. I mean, it's not something that we can do as a county board, I don't think. I mean, might be involved in it, but that would take a lot of,
Management.
management and agreement by, like I said, a lot, I mean, if a church is gonna agree to it, I mean, that's fine. But I don't feel that that's something that we should go ask a church to do as a county board. I mean,
But you do agree that it would be important that people have a
well,
place to go?
I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think it's something that we can address personally. I could be wrong.
What do you think, Dave?
I'm 100%, but I mean, it's not our responsibility. I think it needs to be coordinated by individual churches or the schools.
See, that's why I was thinking our emergency management.
Well, I don't know if that falls quite under that. It might, I don't know, but,
Everybody, when we got the
Yeah,
National Guard here, everybody stepped up.
you're asking people to donate time, money, space, and again, I don't think that's something that we should be involved in.
Okay.
Shawnee Alliance do something like that, you know, thinking of that thing.
Yeah, I mean, somebody like that, you know, I mean, no, I don't disagree with you whatsoever, I just don't think that's a county board action.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion.
Well, and one other thing I was wanting to mention. My wife and my sister-in-law had some questions about their tax bill, and they went down to the office down here, and they did an excellent job explaining to the girls what was going on, and I just want to tell you, you guys have done a good job down there.
Thank you. Sure.
They explained it real well for them.
Perfect.
They didn't like the price.
No.
I want you to know they done,
No one
but
does.
they did quite well explaining it, and I want to thank them.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Toller?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?